Hello everyone. Today's topic is about being productive when working from home. Working from home or working remotely comes with added benefits. For example, there's no commute time and you get lots of flexibility. However, there are so many of us who find it increasingly difficult to stay focused and be as productive as they would have been in the office. If you're looking for some work from home tips so that you could stay productive and get more done, then you're in the right place. If you recently started working from home, perhaps you run your business from home, maybe you're a stay at home mom or dad, or you're just trying to get some stuff done, well, working at home can be difficult. There are loads of potential distractions, especially if you have young kids like I do. And if you're used to being accountable because your boss is in the same building as you, well, that's gone too. I'm going to share the things that I do to stay productive while working from home and even how I manage distractions. One way to do this is to have a routine. Having a routine is extremely important because our day needs structure. And when we have a routine, we know what to expect when we wake up in the morning. I usually prepare my schedule weekly and review every evening before I go to bed. And that way I know what my morning looks like. When you're working from home, it kind of feels like you don't have much structure to your day as you do when you work a traditional, let's say 9 to 5, where you get in at a particular time, take lunch at a certain time, you have meetings at certain times, and then you leave at a specific time to go home. But when you're working from home, you don't really have that work from home differentiation, which can be tough when it comes to trying to insert some structure into your days. And you don't have to be too hard about waking up at a specific time. However, it is best to try to get something like a workout when you wake up, maybe some kind of breakfast, perhaps go through some emails, all of which is some kind of warm up to the day. A big part of working from home is acknowledging the fact that you have more flexibility, in the sense that if you're a morning person, wake up early and use that time to your advantage. If you're more of a night owl, stay up later and adjust your work hours accordingly. Whatever works for you, just have that consistent routine and structured habits and timelines in order to stay productive, motivated, and focused to get things done and be successful in your working from home business. As well as following a normal routine, another tip to staying productive is getting dressed for the day. You don't necessarily have to dress like you're going to work, but definitely change out of your pajamas into some loungewear, something that makes you feel better than bedwear. The sense of getting ready for the days is to put you into work mode as if you'll be following your regular morning rituals. And practice self-care. When you're spending an increased amount of time at home, self-care is more important than ever before. Give yourself time to nourish your mind and body. This could be by a skincare routine or even a balanced diet. It is important to get ready for the day because it makes a big difference to your mental space. The right office setup is something else that's crucial for work from home productivity. By having a designated working area, you will feel more comfortable and you'll be able to walk away from work when necessary. Having a regular spot means that you can check in and get things done. And on the flip side, when you get up and get out of your workspace, you can mentally check out too. When working from home, there's always going to be the inclination to check your phone, to check social media, etc. I recommend that you put your phone away from your workstation. I know that for a fact, when I have my phone next to me, it's harder for me to resist looking at some notifications. It may sound weird, but in a normal office job, you're not on your phone or social media all the time, but it's really easy to get there when nobody's watching you. So keep such distractions in a separate room. It is important to keep your working space tidy and as clutter-free as possible. Let's say as clean as possible, especially first thing in the morning. A messy place equals a messy head, although some people argue that creative people have messy desks. That's a debate for another day. It can be quite distracting when the area that you're working on is messy and cluttered, so it's important that you keep your desk pretty tidy throughout the day. And obviously it doesn't have to be like that 24/7, but for the most part of it, you don't want to have a whole bunch of notebooks or papers on your desk. Personally, I'm not a neat freak, but I do tidy up the office at the end of the day. And if the kids are at home, I try and do it again at some point during the day because they can quickly make the office really, really messy. Try to keep it simple and clean so that you can focus on the one thing that you're supposed to be doing at that time. Another thing is to have a schedule and a to-do list. It is really essential to have some kind of list-making system or calendar system in place. This makes you have a general idea of what you need to do in an upcoming period of time. It could be certain projects or tasks. And when it comes to making lists, it's really important to keep your tasks practical and doable for any given day. I use Notion for my list, scheduling, and time blocking. Try to keep your tasks somewhat to a minimum, but really focusing on the important things. Choose meaningful tasks each day. It's very easy to focus on small tasks that don't require much brain power. However, when working from home, plan to complete 2 to 3 meaningful tasks each day. Schedule them into your morning routine when you're at your most productive, and leave the minor chores for the afternoon when you don't have much energy left. If you really want to learn how to manage your time and ditch the overwhelm, I've done a short course on time management. This is a course that you can finish in one day and then implement daily what you learn. And the link is in the description below. It is also important to celebrate accomplishments, including the small ones. Here you want to be cognizant on what you've accomplished instead of always putting your focus on unfinished tasks. You can try having little checkmark boxes besides each of your items that you want to do. It's pretty enjoyable checking them off, and it feels good to do that, right? Give yourself credit and remind yourself you can only do so much in one day. If you like time blocking, or if you use a planner or whatever it is that you use, keep doing whatever you were doing at work now at home, because it really does help with your productivity and workflow. Schedule all parts of your day. If it doesn't get scheduled, it doesn't get done. You may have your meetings and other things to do in your calendar already, but there's some other important things that you should be placing there too. Like, for example, when your morning routine starts, so that mentally you see it on the calendar that, yep, my morning routine starts now. Next, you want to schedule your work hours. Let it be some sort of guideline that these are my hours to try and focus on getting things done. Schedule your breaks too. If you don't put them in there, they're not going to happen, or most likely will not happen. And you want to also schedule your checkout time, because this is very important for creating boundaries. Finally, schedule time with your loved ones. This may not be something for everybody, but maybe you need it, because like I said, if it doesn't get scheduled, it doesn't get done. And the time with family is so important for so many people that putting it in your schedule should be a must in a work from home setup. This is so that you can mentally check out of work and check in with them, because you want to be 100% mentally and physically available to them at that time of the day. It also helps to ensure that they understand, especially with the younger ones, that even if you might be busy and working hard at a particular time of the day, they're going to have you at 100% later in the day, and they're also less likely to interrupt, hopefully. Taking breaks is really important here. To eat, stretch, move, go for a walk, go get some fresh air, water break, a little bit of social media even, anything to get your mind off work. It's actually important for your brain, since it is impossible to keep your concentration levels running throughout the entire day without taking any breaks. Even though you may be cranking on a deadline, I know it's hard to just walk away from that, but you're going to be much better off by taking a little break to recharge, and you'll come back even stronger and more focused. It's a huge boost to your physical and mental health, which go a long way to prevent decision fatigue, increase productivity, and keeps you motivated for a longer duration. Make time to eat, and eat well. This is another way to stay productive. On a busy day, it could be the office call after the other, one meeting after the other while trying to meet your scheduled deadlines, and this somehow gets pushed to the end. So remember to have your meals at regular times to ensure that you're able to maintain high levels of productivity throughout the day. And now that you're at home or working remotely, you get to choose, you have the freedom and the option to choose healthier. Your body and your mind will appreciate it and your work will show it. And of course, drink lots of water. Do one thing at a time and set boundaries. A lot of us are guilty of doing laundry while doing a conference call, while checking your emails, while cooking dinner because you're at home, but it just doesn't work. Focus on one thing at a time and separate work from home. This may be a bit difficult and may not work every day, but for the most part, it is important to set boundaries for yourself and others while working from home. Refrain from doing any house chores during working hours and let family members know that they shouldn't distract you just because you're at home. Find a way to focus on work stuff for a portion of the day and then move to home stuff on other designated portions of the day. It is important to lay down the law early on and not stay from that rule that you created. Another thing is making time for inspiration is important for creativity. Inspiration doesn't always strike. If you keep waiting for it, you might actually never find it. So take your work to the next level by taking time to do things which can boost your creativity. For example, get out of the house, go look at new things, take some time out in nature and appreciate its amazing beauty. Maybe visit your local bookstore if you're into that kind of thing, or read an interesting book at home. Keep a notebook to jot down ideas, learn about history of your craft, research what others in your field are doing, and give yourself the gift of time by giving yourself a day to just be and do whatever comes to you. And last but not least, and I mentioned this earlier, communicate with those around you. If you have other people in your home with you, or other people you're working with, then make sure you communicate with them as much as you can. As you're now in a home environment, you're going to need to make an extra effort to connect with your colleagues. Plan time into your day when you can have a brief video call or simply catch up on Slack, Teams, or WhatsApp to ensure that you have an open line of communication and clear understanding of the workflow of shared tasks. Communicate your schedule, give people access to your work calendar if need be. Make sure you communicate with especially loved ones and partners so that they may all come to an understanding. If you just create a schedule for yourself and don't share it with others, then that is not fair to other people too. And it can benefit you to have other people know when you should be in work mode, and on the other hand, to let them know when you check out from work and check in mentally with them too. If this is new to you, you'll need to have a meeting with them to tell each other what the expectations are. And here I'm talking about your spouse, partner, roommate, etc. If you have kids, especially, let them know too, because they do pay attention to and they'll understand depending on the age. The worst thing you can do is to not communicate at all. You can communicate and ask people around you, parents, the kids, your wife or husband or your partner or roommates for their support and assist them too where need be. In this way, communication can lead to collaborative efforts, a better workforce, and a better household, probably better relationships. And remember, don't work when you shouldn't. Working both physically and mentally when you shouldn't can be a disaster for relationships that you might have, and also your overall energy levels too. So in conclusion, guys, I've dropped a few tips on how to be productive when working from home. And these were: 1, having a routine, getting dressed, setting up the office and keeping a tidy space, scheduling your day, eating well, taking breaks, setting boundaries, and don't forget to communicate with those around you. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.